part 3 of my series on buying businesses and scaling through acquisitions. In part 2, I talked about why I decided acquisitions could be a way for me to grow faster. But there's actually another part of that story that I think is really important. Because one of the biggest things Adam Coffey taught me wasn't actually about buying businesses. It was about what I was building for my own retirement. Am I building a job or am I building an asset? I'm a bookkeeper, I'm an EA, an enrolled agent. I can do bookkeeping. I can prepare tax returns. I can do tax planning. I can work with CFO clients. And I'm really good at those things. But Adam basically challenged me and said, that's not where you should be spending all of your time anymore. Could I sit at my desk and prepare tax returns all day long? Absolutely. And believe me, some days I still do. Like Friday was one of them. But if every dollar my company makes depends on me sitting at this desk doing the work, what exactly am I building? Am I building a business? Or did I just build myself a really demanding job? This was a huge mindset shift for me. Adam taught me that if I really wanted to eventually retire with real retirement money, I needed to start spending more of my time building businesses that could become sellable assets. Businesses that could operate without me doing every piece of the work, right? Businesses with employees, systems, processes, clients, reoccurring revenue, profitability, management, and eventually a business that someone else would actually want to buy. No one wants to buy a job, they want to buy a business. So that's really where the bigger strategy behind what I'm doing is coming in. Business acquisitions have become part of my retirement strategy. I'm not just trying to make more money this year. I'm trying to build an asset that could potentially be worth something significant years from now. Then Adam taught me to look at fragmented industries. And again, you can find this in his books, go read them. Once I understood that, the next question became, what should I buy? Adam taught me to look for industries that are highly fragmented industries. The bookkeeping and tax prep really is a fragmented industry, but there's other ones out there. So it sounds complicated, but it's really not. A fragmented industry is basically an industry with lots of smaller businesses doing exactly the same thing, essentially the same thing. Accounting is a perfect example. Bookkeepers, tax preparers, CPA firms, accounting firms, they're everywhere. That's my industry, but basically you can do the phone book test. If anyone still owns a phone book, open it up to the yellow pages, and if you see landscaping is one of them. Landscaping has a lot of companies that do the same thing. A lot of these firms may have similar revenue, similar clients, similar services, similar business models. So when you're one accounting firm surrounded by thousands of other small accounting firms, you look like everyone else. The buyers have plenty of choices to choose from. But here's where it gets interesting. What happens when you stop looking like everyone else? Let's say you start acquiring some of those smaller businesses, that revenue really starts to add up. You retain their clients, you build your teams, you start using synergies, you start being able to improve your systems, you build management, you improve the profitability, and you keep on doing it. Eventually you aren't one of those thousands of tiny businesses anymore. You moved into a different category, one that has more revenue. That's what companies look for. Adam taught me that as companies grow and become more attractive to larger buyers, they can potentially command a higher valuation, a multiplier of the valuation of their business. That was another huge light bulb for me, because I wasn't just thinking, can I buy this business and make more money from it? Now I'm thinking, can I combine businesses to build one larger, stronger, more valuable company that someone will eventually want to acquire? That's a completely different way to look at growth. Now, getting bigger alone doesn't automatically make a company more valuable. It still has to be a good company. Buy the good companies, don't buy the bad ones. It needs to have profit. It needs to have systems. It needs to have people that can run it without you. It needs to have client retention. And most importantly, it cannot depend on the owner. Again, no one wants to buy a job. They want to buy a business that can run itself. Because remember the whole point, you're trying to build an asset, not another job. So where do you find these businesses? That's where Adam gave me another piece of advice. He's like, look at baby boomers. There's a whole bunch of baby boomers out there that are wanting to retire. So there's business owners who have spent decades building their small business and now approaching retirement. They may not have family who wants to take it over. They may just be done. They built the clientele, they built the relationships, they built the revenue, and they're ready to be done. If no one buys these businesses, some of these owners are simply going to close the door, and their customers don't disappear. The revenue gets displaced. The clients still need someone to be doing that job. So in my case, they still need bookkeepers. So Adam told me to start closer to home. Look for older business owners in my industry who might be thinking of retiring, and then reach out to them. So that's exactly what I did. What do baby boomers do? They still read the newspaper. They still look at letters that gets mailed to them. So I mailed them letters. Adam also pointed out something to me. If you're trying to reach the baby boomers, don't automatically assume that they're going to be using social media and digital marketing. They literally still open up their mail. So about 2 years ago in September, I identified 20 to 30 farms in my area, and I mailed letters to the owners. So basically it said, hey, if you're thinking about retiring and would ever consider selling your practice, I'd love the opportunity to talk to you. And I told them who I was, what I built, why I might be someone who they would feel comfortable transitioning their clients to. And then nothing happened. 1 month went by, nothing. 2 months, 3 months went by, nothing. 6 months, nothing. And then 9 months later, my phone rang. And of course, my receptionist answered it. But it was one of those business owners who had kept my letter. I was completely shocked. But here they were, and we started the conversation. That phone call eventually became my first acquisition. And I did one other really important thing while I waited. I reached out to the Small Business Development Center. You should have one locally. If you're a small business and don't know what the SBDC is, go look it up. They work with small business owners and provide mentoring, workshops, education, resources to help small businesses start, grow, navigate these things. I started working with them way back in 2012, and I told her a couple years ago this is what I wanted to do. So she was prepared for that phone call when I reached out to her. Mine is connected to a nearby college, and they really become a great resources for people. Many of those resources are available to small business owners at no cost. So here's what I want you to take away from part 3. If you are a business owner, I want you to ask yourself a question. Are you spending all of your time working in your business, or are you building an asset that someone else would eventually want to buy? Because that's where the question that changed the way I looked at my own company. I don't want to be spending the next however many years I'm doing this simply doing more tax returns to make more money. I want to spend these years building something profitable, something scalable, something that can operate without me, and ultimately something that has value when I'm ready to retire. For me, acquisitions became one of the ways I believe I can get there. And I started with 20 to 30 letters. 9 months later, one person called me, and with that one phone call, started my first acquisition. And part 4, I'm going to tell you what happened after I got that call, because somebody saying, yes, I'm interested in selling my business is exciting, but that comes with much harder questions. Okay, is this actually a business I should buy? I'll leave you with that.